That right there is a bull shark, and I'm about 4 meters away from it. No cage, just me, my dive gear, and the clearest water I have ever been in. And also a couple of professional divers for protection. This is Fiji.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sasha and I'm going to take you through everything I wish I'd known before landing in Fiji. The practical stuff, the money, the culture. Whether you're thinking about going or you've already booked a trip, stay tuned because this one's for you. So if you've landed in Nadi, the first thing that you probably are thinking about is transport from the airport to accommodation. Whether it's a taxi, airport shuttle or car hire, there are plenty of ways to get yourself from the airport to your chosen accommodation. Most forms of transport are cash only, with the public buses being very affordable and also stopping at touristy accommodations along the way. Taxis are the most common way of getting around. Just a tip, Uber and Lyft do not function in Fiji, so you're probably looking at getting one of the yellow cabs which operate outside of the airport. Most cabs offer a one-way lift for around 30 Fiji dollars, so if it's any higher, double check that you're not getting ripped off. Okay, you might notice a slight light change. It got really dark and had to put light on. For me, I used a taxi because it was quick and convenient, but there are much cheaper ways of getting around Fiji if you don't want to book a taxi. Things first that hits you when you land in Nadi is the heat. It is relentless and immediately overwhelmingly hot. So make sure to pack light, wear sun cream, and don't underestimate the sun from the moment you arrive. Second thing to remember before you get to Fiji is to remember to sort out your cash. And if you decide to head to the ATM whilst you're there is X amount of percentage charge on top of how much cash you take out. On the mainland, most hotels, restaurants, and shops accept Fijian dollars, Australian dollars, and card, so you have flexibility there. Cannot express this enough. Please, please, please bring a mixture of both cash and card whilst you're out in the Yasawa Islands, specifically Fijian dollars, as card can sometimes be unreliable. There may not be access to ATMs, and not all of the islands may take Australian dollars, so it's always best to bring more than you think. The main way to get to the Yasawa and Mamanuca Islands is the Yasawa Flyer, a large ferry from Port Denarau Marina. From Nadi, you're looking roughly about 2 to 3 hours depending on the island, and make sure to book in advance. There's a desk at Nadi Airport arrivals, making it easy to sort when you land. You can also try getting a private water taxi and go direct from the resort, but that's significantly more expensive. Fiji is one of the few places in the world where you can actually dive with bull sharks. No cage, open water, and give or take a few days before or after my birthday. For packing, light clothing is essential, linen or cotton rather than synthetic, reef-safe sun cream if you're planning to dive or snorkel, and a dry bag for any boat trips. And of course, more Fijian cash. Hotels are concentrated on the mainland in Nadi, but out on the islands, its resorts and lodges is limited more often than normal. So make sure you book ahead, especially between May and October, which is the peak season. We stayed at Barefoot Kauata Resort on Kauata Island, and they run bull shark dives twice a day, every single day. Around £134 per person, it books up fast, and sometimes people may turn up on the day and miss out. If this is on your list, be sure to reserve in advance. And I also did 1 or 2 other dives, not only this island but Wea Island, starting around £60, so there's a real range. I'm completely aware, and I want to emphasize that I know that diving with bull sharks is quite dangerous, and despite having protection professional divers there, it really was mesmerizing and quite humbling to see these creatures in their natural environment. They really are just big fish, and they are completely misunderstood by the media, so if you ever get the opportunity, please take that chance. I promise you it is safe and you won't regret it. From Kauata to Wea runs at a completely different pace to the mainland. The hiking is free and the views you get are absolutely unforgettable. Whilst I didn't get the opportunity to hike to the summit, I've heard it is one of the most unforgettable memories of staying at Octopus Resort. While you're on the mainland, make sure to check out the mud baths in Nadi, around 30 Fijian dollars, which is roughly about a tenner. It was genuinely one of those only in Fiji experiences. One thing that genuinely struck me about the Fiji culture is how eco-friendly it is out there. If you don't have one, I strongly recommend you to buy a reusable water bottle. As Fiji takes sustainability very seriously, being surrounded by the ocean makes it completely understandable why. Single-use plastics aren't banned from the islands, but it's strongly encouraged to make sure you bring some sort of metal. So make sure you're doing your bit, guys. Something I want to touch upon when heading into Fiji is that Fiji is quite a religious country, and a lot of the people are quite spiritual and faithful to their own religion, which is quite a beautiful sentiment. Every Sunday on Wea Island, you have the opportunity to attend one of the church services held in the local village, regardless of whether tourists attend or not. Honestly, being welcomed into their community and getting to attend the service felt like a complete privilege. You got to step into the community and really feel the true authenticity of the Fijian culture. It is a reminder that when you visit Fiji, you're not just visiting a destination, but you're also entering someone's community. Being respectful, covering up when visiting the villages, it makes the whole experience richer. The Fijian people are some of the warmest I have ever encountered, and meeting that warmth also comes with respect. And one more thing on the culture. There's a traditional ceremony called Sevu Sevu, which is a kava offering made to the village chief as a mark of respect when visiting. Whilst I didn't necessarily participate in this ceremony, I got to sit down with a few of local Fijians and try some of the kava. It still wasn't to my taste. I was very grateful for the experience to get to enjoy the music with them, have a quick chat, and also drink some of the local refreshment. Okay, so what you're probably asking is, what does Fiji actually cost? Barely anyone ever answers this question truthfully, and probably many of you are wondering, so here's some rough figures for you guys to fully understand. So I did both Fiji and Tuvalu, and the return flights for a 2-week trip in May was around 1.7k pounds, to which I'll break down the Tuvalu budget in a separate video. So for on the ground in Fiji, accommodation, we roughly spent about 1 to 1.2k. I want to emphasize that this didn't just cover accommodation, this also covered a lot of the excursions, such as a lot of the dives as well as the bull sharks, mud baths or taxis, and also souvenirs. Add flights in and you're looking roughly around 2.7 to 2.8k per person for majority of the expenses. What I will say is, guys, if you are heading to Yasawa Islands, there is a mandatory food plan which you'll probably have to pay for as an additional price depending on how long you're staying. We stayed in both Barefoot Kawata and Octopus Resort, where we probably spend over £100 for more than 2 to 3 nights. So whilst I appreciate that this is a lot of money, it honestly depends on what kind of holiday you're going for. Ironically, some of the best moments of my trip were completely free. Hiking on Kawata or enjoying the beach or watching the sunrise was some of the best moments that I had in Fiji, and they didn't cost me a single penny, at least after I booked the accommodation. So whilst I appreciate that this is a lot of money for many people, you don't have to splurge out as much as I did on this trip. Right, I need to tell you guys about the almost meltdown that I had whilst I was in Fiji. My travel companion, who we have a love-hate relationship with, Chloe, who I have a very tumultuous love-hate relationship, mostly hate, decided it would be a hilarious prank to text me saying that she missed her boat from Manta Ray Island coming onto Kawata. Cut to these screenshots of me totally believing that she was abandoning me to Kawata on my own. Turns out she hadn't missed the boat. She was on it somewhere, laughing, probably thinking I'm stupid and gullible for even believing it. But it does pretty much sum up not only that I'm gullible, but what traveling can do with the right people. Even the worst moments become the best stories. We also happen to make a really lovely friend out there who is from Canada, completely unexpected, and probably one of my favorite things about Fiji. And that's why I love traveling. You meet people from across the world, make friends, and hopefully stay in touch with them for the rest of your life. I spent my birthday pretty much diving with bull sharks, hiking to sort of the top of Fijian hill, and witnessing the sunrise. This video was just intended to give you a general overview of my trip to Fiji and just some light-hearted and overall tips and tricks. If you have any questions about the trip, drop them in the comments below. I would be happy to answer. And if you want to see what this trip actually felt like day to day from when I could remember to vlog, stay tuned for the Fiji vlog, which is coming soon. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! The practicals. Tuck in. I'm so bright.